Hey guys, welcome to the Bout2Bonk cycling podcast. Today, we're going to be reviewing the career of Andre Greipel. Now, Greipel announced his retirement earlier this year, so let's take a quick look at some of his stats. Now, Greipel is a 33-year-old German sprinter. The years he rode from was 2005 to 2021. That's a total of 16 years. The teams he rode for were Lotto Soudal and Israel Startup Nation, along with some other teams. Now, Greipel has racked up 158 wins in his career. He has ridden in 19 Grand Tours, and he has 11 stage wins in the Tour de France. Wow. 7 stage wins in the Giro and 4 stage wins in the Vuelta. He's ridden 22 classics, and he ranks number 32 all time on the PCS ranking. For those of you who don't know what the PCS ranking is, ProCyclingStats.com keeps ranking on riders. Now, Andre Greipel might be the most underrated rider of the last decade. He's a beast in so many ways, from his signature sprinting style where he mashes on the pedals like an ape. If you've seen the torque he's applying to his head tube and his steerer tube, like, you can imagine that bike manufacturers are rethinking the use of ultralight components. Hence, he's given the name Gorilla. Now, if you watch most of his sprints, he is actually a master tactician, often starting his sprint early and using his competitors as barriers to keep the other fast men of the day at bay. I remember when Peter Sagan was still a young buck and he was grabbing ass on stage. Sagan poked fun of Greipel with a gorilla-like celebration. Now, many back then saw it as disrespect, and I'm sure Greipel wasn't too happy with it at the time, but I kind of see it differently. I think Sagan was trying to create a rivalry with one of the greatest sprinters of all time, much like Rocky fighting Apollo Creed. Now, I have come up with a few of what I believe to be the best race wins of his career. So let's take a look at some of these races. Now, the first race up is stage 5 of the 2016 Giro d'Italia. Now, what you'll see in this clip is how well Greipel knows the finish and how he sets himself up for the win. Now, just about 225 meters away from the line, there's a sharp left followed by a sweeping right 50 meters later. Now, Greipel actually starts his sprint right after the left turn, so he can be the first position during the right bend at 150 meters to go. Now, doing this gives him not only a huge gap, but he also has the shortest distance to the line. He just has to hold steady for what seems like an eternity for a sprinter, holding off Demar and Cobrelli for the win. Now, the next race we're going to take a look at is also from the 2016 Giro d'Italia. It's stage 12. And this time we see Lotto Soudal team doing a good lead out for Greipel. Now, right as the right-hand turn approaches with 200 meters to go, we see Greipel diving into the corner so that he just comes out on the other side and he's able to start his sprint early. Now, he makes a beeline to the right side barriers, preventing Caleb Ewan from getting through on that side. He maintains his speed for over the last 50 meters to win over Ewan and Nizzolo. Now, the next race is the 2015 Tour de France, stage 21 into Paris. This finish is straight up sprinter's finish. Greipel shows off his raw power and his ability to hold that power over a long distance, narrowly holding off Brian Coquard. Wow, what a big feather in a sprinter's cap, winning the last stage of the Tour de France on the Champs-Élysées. Now, the last race we're going to take a look at can't be outdone by the other race. It's the 2016 Tour de France, final stage into Paris. Again, Greipel is all power. He quickly makes up the gap and starts a sprint 120 meters out, moving right, causing Sagan to move right, also holding him off until the finish line. You can see just before the line, Sagan's rear tire fishtails after hitting a bump. Oh, what a great race for Greipel. This was Apollo Creed putting Rocky back into his place. Hey, if you've enjoyed watching this podcast, give me a like and press that subscribe button. Now, I remember watching a stage in the Tour Down Under one year where Greipel won the overall GC in the Tour Down Under. He was wearing yellow. Now, he won several sprints to get into that yellow jersey. I believe it was stage 6, with a finish up Wollonga Hill. He didn't win the stage, but he finished around 10th place. Now, Greipel gave it his all climbing that hill, holding on to a slim lead that kept him in yellow until the end. An amazing performance for a big man. Now, from his signature sprinting style to his ability to get over the mountains and still have enough gas to sprint, cyclist Andre Greipel is without a doubt the greatest German sprinter of all time. What are your thoughts about Andre Greipel? Hey, thanks for watching Bout2Bonk Cycling Podcast. See you next time.